Good evening, Mikel. Ben Ransom from Sky Sports News. It seemed to feel a little bit flat tonight, particularly in the first half. From your point of view, how was the performance?
It could have been. I think we started a bit slow and we weren't consistent in the way we were trying to play. I think we lost many duels that at this level you pay the price for, and as well when we were open up in the first phase in the build-up, we gave the ball away in very, very difficult circumstances, and they took the advantage and they scored twice. But after that, I think the reaction of the lads and the team was superb. I think the second half we took a few things to try to control better the counters and have an extra man in midfield, and I think we created the chances and we could have get back in the game, but at this level it's not good enough.
How much of a factor was Pep not being on the touchline? Do you think that affected the team at all?
I have no idea. If you know, I don't know, but I have no idea. That's something hypothetical. The reality is that Pep wasn't here, we lost the game. That's a reality. If Pep would have been in the touchline, I can tell you he would have won 5-0 or lost 0-3. I have no idea.
Hi, Luke Edwards, Daily Telegraph. Complacency has been something that you've Pep certainly guarded against. Was that a complacent performance tonight?
They were very aware of what Lyon was, their strengths and their weaknesses, and I'm telling you that they were prepared to do it. And I think the best example is the way they reacted and the way they kept trying till the end of the game.
Matt. Obviously, you are thrown into temporary charge. At half-time, you're not expecting to be 0-2 down, or had you prepared for that scenario? How was it for you having to make decisions?
I wasn't prepared to think that we were 2-0 down for sure, but you have to react. We are used to make decisions every time at halftime, me and Pep, when we discuss things that we have to change, things that we have to improve, or difficulties that we have during the game. So it's not a new thing. We try to tweak some things to try to improve what we were doing, and that's it.
Sorry, David McDonnell, Daily Mirror. That's, I think, 4 consecutive defeats in the Champions League now, going back to last season. What does this team and this squad need to learn in order to remedy those mistakes and get back on the right track in Europe?
That you have zero margin in Champions League. I think when you make mistakes, you get punished. It's as simple as that. Whether it is lack of attention, whether it is you don't win the duels, whether it is you lose simple balls, or you're not effective enough in both ends, you pay the price. And today is another great example about it.
Jack.
Mikel, Pep made a point of warning the players about the level of performance after the match on Saturday. Did that come as a surprise, that performance in the first half, how flat they were?
It was, but they're not perfect, and sometimes they had better days and sometimes they had bad days. What I can criticize is the effort and the commitment that everybody puts on. After some days they are silk and some other days they are not that silk, but I won't judge the players just because we lost. I think we have to judge many other things during the game, and they know that already.
Simon.
Mikel, Simon Stone, BBC. Could you explain why they started so slowly?
Sometimes new competition is the fair game, and you have to get on track, and the start wasn't particularly good. We didn't feel that flow around the team. Every time we were trying to get out, passing the ball, trying to find the right pass, we missed it, so we didn't find that continuity, and that put the confidence a little bit lower of the team, and we felt under threat every time we lost the ball, and sometimes that brings the confidence a little bit lower, and after that, sometimes when you try to respond to that, it's too late. But what I'm telling you, they were ready for the game. They were very keen to start the competition. The way we left the competition last season really hurt, and we will be back.
Mikel, Kieran Canning, AFP. The atmosphere around the ground seemed quite flat as well before kick-off. There seemed to be a lot of empty seats in the stadium as well. Do you think that lack of atmosphere is something that contributes to City not doing as well in the Champions League?
I wouldn't like to use that as an excuse, because we had this type of crowd in Champions League before, and we were able to win the games, But obviously, if you ask me what's the ideal scenario, is to have full stadium every time and people supporting the team and being behind the team like crazy. But as well, We know that in this competition, sometimes during weeks, it doesn't happen, but I don't think that's an excuse for the result tonight.
Mikel, John Cross from the Mirror. How much of a setback is this in the overall picture of the table, and can you still qualify, do you feel?
I want to look at it in a positive way, you know. I think we had a big call today to say when you're not ready, when you're not at the races at the start of a game in Champions League, you get punished. And after it's too late, it doesn't matter how good you are, to get back into a game with two goals down against any team in Europe, it happens really, really rarely, you know. So I'm sure they're going to respond the way they responded when they went 2-0 down, and the next game it will be a completely different story.